for joining me today. My name is Tara Alderete. I'm the Director of Education and Community Relations at Money Management International, or MMI. MMI is a 501c3 nonprofit credit counseling and housing organization, and we offer many great services to help clients achieve their financial goals. Please give us a call at 866-889-9347 or visit us online at www.moneymanagement.org to learn more about our services or schedule your free initial session today. I'm happy to join you today to talk briefly about the recent economic impact payment that millions of Americans have already received or are scheduled to receive soon. So we'll cover some facts about the payment, tips and strategies for effectively managing that money, and things to look out for to help you safeguard your finances and protect your payment against thieves and scammers. So thanks again for joining us today. I hope everybody continues to stay safe and healthy and enjoy the session.
Let's get started. The IRS has started sending economic impact payments or stimulus checks to many Americans as part of the recent CARES Act. These one-time payments are intended to help stimulate the economy and could help you combat the economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. In these unprecedented and quickly changing times, though, you might find yourself wondering about the best way to use that money. In this session, we'll discuss facts about economic impact payments, tips and strategies for spending those payments wisely, and scams to watch out for. So who can expect payment and when? Well, the IRS has set up a great resource to help consumers check their payment eligibility and status online. So visit www.irs.gov/coronavirus and then do a search for the payment eligibility and status tool. The government is using information from taxes filed in 2018 and 2019 to either deposit payments directly or send paper checks. And if you're not required to file a return because you're a Social Security recipient or a senior citizen or for some other reason, payments should be generated based on information on your SSA 1099 or RRB 1099. Let's take a closer look at the eligibility guidelines. If you're a U.S. resident with a work-eligible Social Security number and you're not a dependent of another taxpayer, those married filing jointly with an annual gross income, or AGI, up to $150,000 can expect to receive $2,400. Individual filers with an AGI or annual gross income up to $75,000 or head of household filers with an AGI up to $112,500 can expect to receive $1,200. You'll also receive $500 for each qualified child. Now, if you exceed the income requirements, we know that the economic impact payments will be reduced incrementally based on your income. So whether you recently received a payment or you're expecting it soon, planning ahead of time could really help ensure you spend your economic impact payment wisely. Of course, everybody's situation is a little bit different right now. If your pay or regular household income has been affected and you're having a hard time making ends meet, this stimulus payment could be a much needed way to bridge the gap between income and priority expenses. So if this is the situation, you may want to use this money to pay those priority expenses. And those would be, of course, things like rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, and medication. The second situation you may find yourself in is you're still working and receiving your regular pay. And if this applies to you, you may want to consider using the stimulus money to build your emergency savings. A general rule of thumb is to maintain 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a liquid savings account in case an emergency occurs. Even if your income hasn't been affected right now by the current crisis, we know things are continuing to change so quickly. So building your savings really is a great way to safeguard your finances should your situation change down the road. Now, if you already have a 3 to 6 month cushion set aside, you might consider using your economic impact payment to reduce debt. If this applies to you and you're thinking now's the great time to get out of debt, there are a couple of strategies that can help you pay down debt faster. The snowball or avalanche approach helps you do this in order, starting either with the highest interest rate or the lowest balance debt first, whichever works for you. And then, of course, unexpected payments like these could help you pay down that debt even faster, putting you in a better financial position overall. If you are in this situation and you're thinking to use your economic impact payment to help reduce debt and you want to learn more about debt reduction strategies, of course, you can always visit us online at moneymanagement.org. Now, the last situation might be that you've got adequate savings and no debt, and your regular pay hasn't been affected. So, in this case, you might consider using the money you receive to invest or donate to a charity. If you do choose to do this, particularly donate, make sure that you do your research ahead of time, though, and use caution. Because believe it or not, in times of crisis like this, we're seeing many fraudulent charity donation sites and scams pop up everywhere, particularly related to COVID-19 and these economic impact payments. So let's talk some more about some other common scams that you can look out for. One thing to remember is thieves and scammers are really good. A lot of times, scams look legitimate and they won't just prey on your online or financial activity, they'll often exploit fear and emotions too. And in a lot of cases, they're not just looking to get your stimulus payment, they're also looking for personal or financial information so that they can use it and do more harm down the line. So, some of the things to look out for. The first would be fake check scams. This is common we're seeing currently, where you get a fake check for more than you're actually supposed to receive. And then somebody contacts you asking you to pay back the amount that you were overpaid. Another common scam is expedited payments. And so we're seeing claims that you could get your stimulus check faster if you pay just a small processing fee or maybe provide some identifying information. This is not legitimate. And then another one to watch out for now and always are phishing scams. And phishing scams typically involve sending anonymous emails or text messages with the expectation that you'll open them, giving somebody access to your information. So if you get a message from an unfamiliar source and it's asking you to click on a link, open a document or a page, or call a number, be cautious and don't do it. You could be unknowingly compromising your personal information or even the data on your device. So, to protect yourself and your finances, your best bet is to know the facts and then verify and seek out sources yourself that you know to be reputable instead of clicking on links, no matter how legitimate they may seem. Now, I shared some facts about the economic impact payments just a moment ago, but there are some additional things that I wanted to share. First, most people won't need to take any action. Remember, in most cases, the IRS already has your information from taxes filed in 2018 and 2019, so your payment should be automatically sent or deposited if you're eligible. The next is there is no early payment option. Because these payments are being proactively sent, any service offering the ability to expedite your payment for a fee is not legitimate. The next thing to keep in mind is that you can still receive payment without taking action, even if you don't typically file a tax return. Remember, if you receive Social Security or you're a senior citizen, payments will still automatically be sent based on the 1099 the government already has. Another thing, economic impact payments will be available through the rest of this year, so through the rest of 2020. So even if you have a tax obligation, but you haven't filed your return yet for 2018 or 19, you can still receive payment when you file. Next thing to know is that the IRS will not call you, text you, or email you about your check or to ask for personal information. Although the IRS does plan to send a confirmation letter through the mail to your last known address once payment is made, even in the rare case that action is going to be required on your part to receive your payment, the IRS is not going to call you, text you, or email you to communicate. They're going to send you a letter. So don't ever give out personal information without verifying the source and the reason. And again, if you're unsure, go to the source. This means if you're contacted by somebody claiming to be from the IRS or even a bank or one of your service providers, and they're asking for personal information, you always want to verify by visiting their known website or initiating a call to them on your own. Of course, for the IRS, you could visit www.irs.gov. And then contact information for banks and service providers should always be either on the back of your cards or on your regular monthly statements. And then the last fact to keep in mind about the economic impact payments is that these payments will not be subject to garnishment for defaulted student loans or tax debt. However, they may be subject to state or local government garnishments, court-ordered garnishments, or if you're behind on child support. Knowing what to expect plays a big part in helping us stay vigilant to protect our finances. And because most people discover theft and fraud by monitoring their own accounts, it's also important now and always to verify information, not just on the phone or online, but also by regularly checking those bank statements and your credit report. And of course, by staying up to date on events in our rapidly changing environment. At MMI, we have set up a page. You can visit moneymanagement.org/coronavirus, and there you can get tips and resources to stay updated on changing situations regarding COVID-19 and economic impact payments. Now, before I wrap up, I did want to just recap some of the websites and resources that I did share earlier. For information about economic impact payments and to check eligibility and your payment status, visit irs.gov/coronavirus. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau also has a great helpful guide to stimulus checks on their website, so you can visit them at consumerfinance.gov and do a search for Guide to COVID-19 Economic Stimulus Relief. And of course, lastly, and again, I did want to remind you that for ongoing updates and information regarding your personal finances, please visit us at moneymanagement.org/coronavirus. Thanks again so much for joining today. I hope you gained some valuable information about the facts surrounding economic impact payments, ways to spend the money you receive, and strategies to safeguard your payment and your finances. Everybody, please continue to stay safe and informed. Thanks again.